I'm joined by Emily Harford, Mechanical Engineer at UK Atomic Energy Authority. Emily, could you just explain what you do there, please?
Hi Lucy. My job title is Principal Engineer for the Design Authority, and my role is involved with enabling and encouraging conscientiousness and rigour among all of the engineers across the different departments on site.
Doing that, you must be using ethics a lot. Can you explain what you mean by ethics?
What I found was that when I tried to explain to a line manager why I wanted to do an extra external ethics course, he was all about, what, bribery? You know not to take bribes. And I found it hard to explain what more ethics can be than just not taking bribes. And I thought that if someone senior to me couldn't see it in a broader sense, then that meant there was an issue on site. So the thing about ethics is it spans a whole range of things in terms of what we do as engineers, and we need to understand that as engineers, because we are a profession, we have a position of power over the general public. They can't challenge our authority because they don't have the understanding, the detailed knowledge and understanding that we do about our jobs, which means that there is also a great deal of implicit trust. And we have a responsibility to the public primarily, as opposed to our employer, to act in the public good. So that comes down to, not taking bribes, but also whether you'd be willing to backdate a document to make it look like it was finished before it was actually finished. Or an example would be, I worked in the medical implants sector, and we were not permitted to have Tipp-Ex or correction ink, correction pens of any kind in the building at all. Not that we weren't trusted to not use them, because we were not permitted to use them on patient files for obvious reasons. But if we were inspected by the FDA, because we traded in the USA, we could have our license revoked if those things were even found. So that really started to help me understand how it was important it was for me to have this position of integrity. It's weird. It's like you have to do a good job because it's your job to do a good job, but because no one knows if you haven't done a good job, like normal people. Only people know if you've done a good job or not.
Yeah.
But it's also, I suppose the other one is that because when you sign up to a professional body, they have a code of ethics you have to uphold, and that's what being a member of that body entails. And that is both sword and shield. So that can be used to punish people who don't uphold those ethics, but it can also be held to shield you when you're being pressured by your management. And an example that springs to mind is the Challenger accident in the late 80s, where the lead engineer for a subcontractor of the space agency said it was okay to launch, and this was the company that were responsible for the very famous O-rings. And that manager was asked by his manager to think like a manager and not like an engineer. Whereas being part of a professional body means that if we all hold those same ethical standards, then that guy could have said, I'm not going to say yes, I'm an engineer and I have ethical standards, and you will not be able to find an engineer who will say yes.
Thank you very much. It's definitely one of those that's not so easy when you're actually in the moment, but knowing that you've got that backup, that you are within your rights to say no, that's not ethically correct, then that is a huge relief.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that makes it an important part of the education of engineers, so that we start thinking about this early on, because I think it is it's early career engineers who are most at risk of being pressured to do things that are unethical. When you get to your sort of mid-30s or your 40s, you know that you're okay. You can say no. You have a much better sense of yourself and your own understanding of things. It's graduate and early career engineers who need to have this taught to them so that they know how and when to say no.
That's excellent. Thanks ever so much, Emily.